even Victoria Island, a number of areas. What is the impact of this decision? In fact, someone at the press conference now said, okay, well, what about the ride-sharing folks, the Opes and the Gokadas and all those other guys? What about them? And they said yes. They said they're banning them as well. And so this is we're now discussing this all over again. Now, it was on this show, ladies and gentlemen, that we discussed one of the ride-sharing folks signing an agreement with the NURTW in order to allow them to be able to operate without any problems. I even think, I believe some types of fees, licensing fees or something were paid where the particular ride-sharing company would be able to use kekes with their logo on it. So now, what does this now mean? What does this now mean for the ride-sharing folks who are thinking, okay, we have an agreement in place with the state, and now all of a sudden they're changing their tune and saying that we're banned from certain areas. Now, why is Lagos State doing this? That, someone has to ask the question, right? They said it was safety. They said it was safety because of a number of accidents that have been going on and happening in the different parts of the states, and also I think there was also mentions of crime and some other things. But now, folks, where is this message? We're having this discussion on WhatsApp because there's also an impact on jobs as well. I believe in my WhatsApp group, I was talking with someone who sent a message saying that their driver is from, I believe, from the north. So it's telling them that a number of individuals have left there to move down to the south, Lagos in particular, in order to use Okadas and drive kekes and so on. As in, it's a source of jobs for them. So now you have to think about what this means for a growing number of individuals who are turning to this in order to put food on the table. What happens to them? Now, look, on the safety side, my car has suffered from these Okada folks, right? I have the dents and the scratches and so on to prove this. But we have to think about the alternatives. But hey, so that brings us to the next point. Somebody asked, okay, you've taken out Okadas and Kekes from certain areas of the city. You've taken out the ride-sharing folks. All right, so what are we supposed to use? And one of the Lagos state officials, by the way, Governor Sanwo-Olu wasn't there. He was represented by three gentlemen. And he says, okay, well, what we're going to do is that we're going to, first of all, observe how this works, as in how the, taking them out of the areas works. And then they're going to introduce buses. That's what they said. They're going to introduce buses, into these areas. Do we think this is going to work? Or someone tweeted online saying that, look, this is like the umpteenth time that they are banning Okadas and Kekes, and is this actually going to work this time? Because they never ever implement these things. So we're looking at things on multiple fronts here, right? Multiple fronts. First of all, what it's going to do for the people who are earning a living with regards to how they put food on the table and how they rely on these Okadas and Kekes. We're also looking at what the impact on people who rely on them for transportation. Apapa in particular, somebody sent me a message and saying, you want to remove Okadas and Kekes from Apapa. How are we supposed to get through that area? That's another question. That's another question. So jobs for the individuals who are making a living for themselves, transportation for the folks who are supposed to be using, because even I've used the ride sharing bikes sometimes. I've even used kekes once in a while if I don't feel like driving. What now happens to that? And then what happened to the agreement that was signed between the ride sharing companies and the Lagos states? That is the most mind-blowing aspect of this. They sat down and they had an agreement, and they said, okay, this is how we're going to work this. Because you all remember when we were talking in the past about the police snatching some of these bikes. So there's ride-sharing companies who snatching them off the road, seizing them. There's been dialogue back and forth, and now you come out yesterday and say you're banning them all over again. This is the definition of a policy flip-flop. I don't know how else to categorize this thing. It's the definition of a policy flip-flop. Lagos, how do you see it? Let's see. Sheung says it's actually a very controversial topic. One thing I know, Sha, is Lagos cannot be the mega city we want it to be the way things are with the Maruwa and the Keke. By the way, there's one hybrid between the bus and Keke. What category are those? I'm not really sure, Sheung. Well, that's a good point. You see, so people are divided though, because there was, in fact, under the tweets, I remember the tweet I was retweeting where these announcements were being made. There were people that were supporting this. They were like, yes, we actually support this. We think this is a good move. Take those kekes off the road. Take those Okadas off the road. Yeah, look, I'm half of me is in that camp as well, because like I said, my car has suffered with these guys. But folks, when was our last unemployment report released? Q3 of 2018. How many people are unemployed in this country? You know that number is growing. You know that there's a growing number of Nigerians that are looking for ways to feed themselves. So while I understand that some of these guys are a menace and some of them need training, I have to tell you that you have to be sympathetic to the fact that they need jobs. People. All right, who else is saying something out here? Oh gosh, lots of messages coming in. Okay, this is on table. Hello, Rotus. In as much as I support the ban, I can't count the number of scratches on my car that Okadas and Kekes are, of course, as far as accidents. The loss of jobs will be huge. Aha, see? That's what Debo is saying. You have to have a heart for these folks and what they're going through. Goodness gracious. All right, who else we got here? This is Lanre. Says there is a deeper reason why the ban is imperative. The major one being security. Okay, I'm going to address that in a second. The major one being security and to prevent total breakdown of law and order. There are a large number of Okada riders and they are gang members and they are violent. Okay, Larry, we have to be careful there with categorizing. Although you did say a large number, not everyone. So Larry was careful not to generalize. Says the ride-sharing companies issue hopefully will be resolved later when proper structure is out in place. Okay, see, look. Thank you for that message, Larry. Thank you for showing everybody else that's sending me messages. The security side of this thing can be resolved in one way. Registration. What do you think, Lagos? Each Keke has a license plate. Each Okada has a license plate. My car has a license plate. Your car has a license plate. If I put your license plate number into a database, your name should pop up. You put my license plate in, it should pop up. My full name is Aruoture. Aruoture Oddiri will pop up, right? Or Rotus, I should change my name. Anyway, it'll pop up and so you know it's me. So that way, with registration, if any of these vehicles are used in crimes, and by the way, you can't use a keke for a crime. It's too lumpy and awkward. Okadas, I think, are the main issue when we talk about crimes. But if you register them, and by the way, there's another thing I want to throw out there, and I've mentioned this before. The public transportation system in Nigeria is actually quasi-private because there's this hire purchase thing. I think we've talked about this before, even with the Danfos. By the way, nobody has mentioned Danfos, though. That with the Okadas and Kekes, whereby a private individual buys them and then gives it to one of these drivers, and then there's like a profit-sharing thing where the driver goes out, picks up people, and then comes back and gives them. So, so that's why my point with that registration thing is that you can trace that back to the owner of the actual vehicle. All right, who else we got here? Ian says, I had a fight with my folks on this Okada matter. No be small fight, so one of my friends even blocked me. Wow. First, it's a restriction and not an outright ban. Okay, that's true because they're restricted from certain areas. I am sure it will come with its good sides as well as bad sides, but eventually we will all adapt. Ian, what about the people who are using the Okadas as a way of living? How will they adapt? Yemi, the restrictions on Okada have always been there since the days of Fashola, so the go-karders or pay folks shouldn't be surprised. It's a part of business risk. But Yemi, they signed an agreement now. What about the agreement? Ayo from Yaba, good morning, Rotus. When I heard the news, I asked, what alternatives are you providing both for the providers and users of these transportation means? And this is my issue with Nigeria. You can't just overhaul an existing system. You have to run a concurrent plan and phase out gradually. Well done to Lagos for scaring potential investors. That's from Ayo, from Yaba. What else we got here? We got Victor, Akinyemi Victor. The ban, okay, hang on here. The ban doesn't go beyond the rhetorics. The bike guys will disappear and reappear later, creating more income for police. Ooh, okay, Akinyemi with a different angle there. Okay, Gbenga is answering the question of the hybrid. That hybrid mentioned is called the Korope, and they're also devil incarnates. Benga is not a fan, so I take it that Benga is a fan of the is a fan of the restriction. Prince says many states in the north, east, and south have banned Okada, but they all moved down to Lagos. I support the ban. My car less than 6 months have scratches from Keke and Okada. They should go to farming. Prince. Okay, so again, this people are divided. People are divided on this. Frank from Satellite Town. Good morning, Rotus. The overall advantage of banning bikes is beneficial to the Lagos people, but I know somehow people like me can survive a papa without bikes. But know that somehow people like me can't survive apart without bikes. I still don't know how. So okay, yeah, Frank from Satellite is asking how they will survive without the bikes. Because Apapa alone has over 2,000 bikes. That is from Frank. Let's see. Mike said, Rotus, what did OPay give you? Mike, they didn't give me anything. I'm just asking it. It's not just OPay, Okada, Max NG, all the ride-sharing folks. He said these Okadas are a menace. They were not banned outrightly, but removed from some areas. So, look, folks, for those of you that are supporting the restriction, let's call it a restriction, not a ban. Thank you for correcting me. What is the alternative? What do we do? We're spending our entire time on this particular thing. All the messages are coming here. All right, let's see now who we have here. Good morning, guys. Okada and Keke in Lagos is not sustainable. They need to be regulated. That I think this is David. David, that's what this agreement was. That's what was signed. Again, there's so many more. There are multiple things. There are multiple angles to this. There was an agreement that was signed between the ride-sharing folks and the states. There was an agreement. We've been going through this thing back and forth. But let me not talk too much before Mike now says they gave me something. Let's see here, Modupe. Two things to note. One, the ride sharing is more than OPay is more than a ride sharing service. Yeah, they got other things they do. The business model is based on this payment platform, which still works across Lagos State. Plus, there's other things they have, which he's talking about variation in business models. Two, Lagos is not the only state in the country that citizens need bikes for transportation. If Lagos government wants to be inconsistent with its policies after charging companies millions, Abeokuta is next door. Just take a look at the cinema industry and look at how different cinemas have taken over Ilorin and Ibadan. Okada show up as a result of a societal need. The ride-sharing service is actually an innovative way of regularizing a hitherto haphazard business, so this restriction is essentially setting us back. You know why I love this show? I love the different takes on particular matters here. No, we don't all flow in one direction. This is from Bumi. This restriction is important, but not necessary. But not necessary now. Alternatives need to be put in place first before the restrictions. Lagos State no try at all. They need to open their hands to investors in the BRT business. All right, lots of messages here. Lots of messages. Okay, wait. Share one more here for show. I assure you that kekes can be used for crime. Okay, Sharon said they can be used for crimes. I once had two guys. Okay, you know what? Yes, so the whole what do they call that thing now? One chance. Yeah. Okay, I assure you, I had two guys make an attempt to rob me, which I foiled, and they had a keke waiting, which zoomed by and picked them up and off into the night. I stand corrected. Sharon, thank you for sending that message. Yes, I shouldn't have said that actually. Thanks for educating me. Kekes can indeed be used for crimes. In fact, I even remember somebody who told me that they tried to snatch his laptop while he was in a keke. This is from Debo. Rotus, let's be real. The bikes should be off some roads. Okada on 3rd Mainland Bridge, that is crazy. Okay, we've exhausted this. Ayo, how much time do we have? About a few. Okay, good. We still have a good amount of time. Okay, let's move on from that now. SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, is going to clamp down on illegal fund promoters. Lagos and beyond. Do you think this is possible and practical? Mrs. Efe Ebelo, who is the SEC's head of corporate communications, in a statement acting on behalf of the acting director general, who is Mary Udok, disclosed this in Abuja. She noted that the SEC is going to continue to educate people on how to watch out for fraudulent investments. And in fact, she even has a quote here. It says, when people come to you and say that you can invest 50,000 naira today, and in 2 hours you get 200,000 naira, you should know that this is illegal and it actually can't work. They actually said that they're going to be involved in educating the public. You see, this is wait, let me even read this. Where is this particular statement she made? There was one statement that made my eyebrows jump up here. Where is it? She said something about she said we are stepping up our enforcement mechanisms to ensure that they are apprehended and their offices are sealed off. Ma'am, most of these businesses don't have offices. There are no physical structures for a lot of these things. These guys are online, and I have to be honest, I don't know, I'm asking you guys, I have not seen the SEC's presence online with regards to targeting a lot of these illegal funds and going after them. Most of them don't have offices. It's just they just set up online, give you, put one nice colorful banner telling you how much you can make, and then you send them a DM, all right, on Twitter or Instagram or WhatsApp them. Next thing you know, you transfer money to them, you're expecting your investment, and then they disappear. So the SEC really has to put a lot of work into place in trying to clamp these guys down. And you can partner with Smooth FM, SEC, yeah? Partner with Smooth FM and Business Express. We can help you out with that. We still have more messages on the issue with the Okadas here. Bode says Rotus, Lagos state government is consistently inconsistent. I think I should put that on a t-shirt. I think I should put that on a t-shirt. Wale says the agreement, I believe is referring to the agreement between the ride-sharing folks and the Lagos state government, did not preclude the ride-sharing companies from obeying the law. Well, again, Wale, you know, that's a debate to be had. I believe that most of them have obeyed the law. Jumoke here said, Rotus, please help us ask Lagos government what of the tankers. Jumoke, bless you for that question. Bless you. And what about the downfall buses? What about the Federal Road Safety Commission and how the certificate we paid for, the roadworthiness certificate, is not being applied 100%? There are some vehicles that just should not be on the roads, and they also cause accidents as well. Obaro says, good morning, Rotus. Not all the bikes are registered. Go to Okada and see unmarked bikes. Yeah, thank you, Obaro. This is what I'm saying. This is the effort on that the Lagos state government has to put in place in order to make sure that they're all registered. And yes, thank you for that point. A lot of them are not registered, and that's the reason why they're able to, you know, perpetuate all these crimes and so on and so on and so forth. Let's see here who we got. Good morning. My name is Hakeem. I strongly believe everyone's position of the Okada saga is determined by who they are, and where they transact their business. People that live and do their business on the island, Surulere and the likes, may support the restriction, but people in the Okoko, Ajagbandi, Apapa Mile 2 will not support it. That is an excellent point by Hakeem. When I was reading the tweets, everybody was saying, yes, ban them, ban them, ban them. I was like, all these people are looking at their profile pictures, like they looked at their own cars. Oyewole says, Rotus, good morning. NURTW is not Lagos State. And loss of jobs by who? Please put that into context. 8 of 10 of the drivers are northerners who have no regards for law and order. Well, that is a highly generalization there. That's a little harsh, Yinka says, Rotus, is there anything that creative in the IT sector other than payment solutions? I'm tired. A lot of these companies are hammering a lot of money and raising lots of money just for payment solutions. How about Kilode? Where's the money going to be used to pay for anything else? Yinka, that's a good point. We should address that on Tech Friday. Folks, I still see so many of your messages. Thank you for interacting with us on this. Look, Lagos State said the restriction goes into place on February the 1st, which is on Saturday. Business Success will be here next Monday. We'll all be here next week. We'll see how well they implement this thing and if they go back on their word. Thank you for joining me on the show today. Oh, 2 minutes or 2 seconds? Oh, she's telling me peace. You're giving me the peace sign. You thought you're giving me 2 more seconds. That's our lovely Ayo Mairo Ese. Lagos, thanks for tuning into Business Express 91 Smooth and 8.1 FM. We will catch you guys tomorrow. Stay close.
After my